Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, members of the press, Oddcollard here with just a disclaimer. My content is primarily for guys, folks on the nerdy side, and some tomboys. Nothing personal with anyone. It's just the way it is with me.
Story Trajan. Character the Queen Mother. Doctor, farmer, Senate seat holder. As mother to the Jones twins, but not a Jones herself, Marisol doesn't just willpower, she drinks it with morning coffee. Like whiskey. Hell, like both.
If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. I truly dislike that woman.
Story Trajan. Character the Senate. The Senate was originally composed of landowners and former military officers, which tended to be people from prominent families. But after things went bad, there just weren't enough people of knowledge and experience to balance the game board. There were many ways in which a citizen could become selected for the Senate. One was to win a war, which gave the individual an automatic entry into the elections. Another could be if you came from a family whose crops were a major part of our survival and trade with other colonies. If a parent was a senator, the son or daughter could apply to gain entrance into the process. It used to be one had to prove he or she met the income requirement and documented leadership capabilities. But all of that ended when the world burned, so new elections started a few generations back. Things are very different now. Story Trajan. Character Jacob, the guy next door. I always thought we were a bit young to be making these kind of decisions. But Jacob didn't care. He didn't care about Jack anymore. I think he stopped feeling anything after what happened. I miss my friend. He's gone. No longer the same person. Why do they expect so much from us? It's wild and crazy nonsense. We're just kids. But it's how things roll here. Story Trajan. Characters the Jones twins. My favorites. Funny, but wrong. That's the best way to describe these two characters. Helpful, but unstable. And an asset, but potentially dangerous. Intelligent, yet creepy. According to one or two of the elders, the Jones are of the same sex. One is transgender. Jury is still as out on which one. Plus, they're dirty, rotten, filthy, stinking rich from generational family farming. Definite players on the game board.
Story Trajan. Character Elizabeth, although most of us called her Mom. You see, what folks don't understand is just how much Mom loved us. She would literally do anything, and did on the regular. Elizabeth was tough as nails, yet never stopped being Mom, and it wasn't just her own, but anyone's children. It didn't matter where you came from. If she was willing to take care of you, then we all did. That's just how she was. That was Mom. When the sickness hit our family, Mom was living with us, and she got it the worst. You either die or come out the other side like new. Mom almost died, but came back a little more than she was before. The recessive gene, they always said. A throwback from the old world. Mom's last birthday, she turned 97, but doesn't look a day over 40. She's not the only one. About half the elders look half their age.
Story TRAJAN. All Tech Tony. There was nothing he couldn't fix. This guy was kind of a tech freak. Of course, he was less than 50% human now. The judge. Nobody really knew how long the old man had been around. He seemed pretty cool in a worn, weathered sort of way. Mom said she could remember a time without him, that his grandparents were part of the reason the world burned. It's as if he had just always been, and always old. One thing about him, though, he always had a copy of scriptures in his pack. Always reading. Always comparing notes with some of the elders. Never vying for a position within the Senate, nor with the elders. He came across as out of place. A bit odd. A few decades back, he was granted judgeship and bypassed both positions of Senate and elder, appointments which everyone knew he would never willingly serve. Sometimes the old man appeared sad, almost ashamed. He stayed out of the village and chose to live alone, but not like a hermit. Knowing we need others to survive, I think he just wanted distance and quiet. Story TRAJAN. Character: my sister Sherry, batshit crazy. That's what we would always sing. And almost always her same response would be a, yeah, sure. She's been gone for a long time now. No letters or word on anything. Mom says she's not dead. Says she can still feel her. Me, I don't remember much of Sherry except that she was always angry at something. Of all of us, she was the warrior in the group. But it was her mind. She knew things. She had some wisdom. I used to dream at night, seeing her sitting on her tank, smoking like she always did on the back porch. Sherry was funny and bright, but always angry at something. Story TRAJAN. Character 0. There were, I think, 13 of us in the secured area when the so-called captain asked, "What was the worst thing they've ever done to you? Which of their, quote, tests really pushed you over?" The captain continued, "I mean, let's be honest. We're just lab rats, right? It's all about data. But we're all expendable and easily replaced. Now, I don't know about you, but they've put me through some horrendous shit. Then made me feel proud because I was still standing. The only one standing. My question was always, why am I the only MF still alive? Dude, this is bullshit. How is it that I am the monster for doing nothing more than living through everything life has thrown my way?" As the captain continued talking, I thought to myself, funny, but it's strange. I actually had to put some thought to it. What pissed me off the most? Which act of cruelty produced the most profound, mind-numbing devastation within my spirit? When it comes to the nature of man, what is it that truly frightened me? One day they walked me into a room which clearly looked fortified with extra concrete and steel or something. The ceilings were way up, a good 18 feet. The floor looked almost like a gravel driveway, 20 feet wide by 40 or 50 feet long. In the center of the gravel was a small dome-shaped object in which I was instructed to walk towards. It made no sense, yet by this time I was so completely exhausted, I did what I was told to do with no hint of rebellion. That's all I remember. It wasn't until much later, after revolt, that I stumbled on the video files. My God, what have they done to me? Running what seemed like a time-lapse type video, it appeared the little dome was in reality something like a landmine. Taking the final step forward, the film slowed to an almost frozen crawl, where every dust particle became the star of the frame. The little dome explosion was itself a thing of beauty. At such slow speed and extreme clarity, the mathematical precision in which the energy released its force was of sheer wonder. Beautiful. It was the metal debris released along with the explosive energy that became the point of focus. Within a fraction of a second, every piece of clothing on my body immediately turned to shreds and all but disappeared in a manner that did not make any sense at all. Why was I still standing butt naked, yet without so much as a nick or a scratch? Oh my God, what have they done to me? The video continued from a different angle and facial close-up. A precision shot of the debris just a fraction of a second from impact with my right eye, and something happened. For a brief flash, dark brown skin appeared grayish, silver. It came and went so fast. My God, what have they done to me? My memory drifted in and out from other experiences. I remember the time. A dead drop at 5,000 feet with no parachute. Oh my God, what have they done to me? They said they were just running tests. My God, I never asked for this. Next thing I knew, I was waking up in what looked like a former manufacturing plant of some sort, looking up into the faces of children and women screaming in mourning. Squatters. I had landed on someone. I'm so sorry. Why can't I just die? After this particular test, I stood up right away. But it seemed as if the authorities were shocked and taken aback, some appalled, some even angry. Looking at the Queen Mother for some kind of explanation for the attempt at rape of my soul, Mother glanced at me with confidence and said, "You're a diamond, dear. They can't break you."
If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. I truly dislike that woman.